Boxing King media powered by BYD with Alfie, Sharman, the Vice President of the Zone. How are
Hello,
you doing?
I'm very well. How you doing? You good?
Good. I'm good. I think last time we spoke, it's been a good few months, but a lot's
Yeah.
happened since. And we're obviously out here in London for this special lunch invite. Massive news, and I think news that most boxing fans never expected, even though people in the boxing game heard rumors of this. So just tell us, when this conversation start of Frank Warren joining the Zone?
It's been a long time in the making. I mean, we've been talking with the guys. Obviously, look, we're very familiar with what they do. We're in the boxing space. They're, of course, very familiar with what we do, and it's on show for all to see the developments that we've made, most specifically in boxing over the last 5+ years. So there's always been dialogue, and of course with the work with the over Riyadh season in the last 12 months, which is this, this is very different. They're two very separate deals. But yeah, it's been a good few months. So yeah, the kind of feedback online has been very positive, which is good because we all know boxing fans have an opinion and they will vocalise them. So it's great to see that they're seeing it in the spirit that it should be, and the fact that more fights on our platform, less fragmented viewing experiences, everything in one place. But most importantly, more fights with, obviously Queensberry got an unbelievable roster, so they're bringing that to DAZN, and I'm sure people are fantasising which matchups that can be made. And those boundaries in the past that maybe would have been there are no longer, because we are all under one kind of banner on DAZN and part one family to make the best fights out there.
Well, it is like a groundbreaking move, because I don't think a lot of people did even expect this to happen. With the regards to, because I remember when Eddie Hearns joined the Zone, and there was like, I can't even remember how many millions were mentioned, but there was like a big figure out there saying we've got X amount of millions they're going to put into boxing. Yeah. Is it the same sort of thing, or is it more like, or is that just kind of discreet this time?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it's a commercial venture, so obviously there's an element of discretion that we're going to uphold, the same way lots of other people wouldn't go out and discuss their commercial deals. Of course, we're in it to make money and to grow, as our Queensberry, and I think that's what has really kicked it on, and why I think people are quite so excited, because Frank and George have a undeniable passion for the sport of boxing, have done for a very long time. I like to think anyway, DAZN have demonstrated over a period of time that boxing isn't just a flash in the pan for us. It's just it's not something we see as a bit of fun, or something that's just a little bit cool, or a quick fix to make money. We've committed to it, and we're doing more than anyone has ever done in the space from a broadcast point of view. Everything from volume to the innovation and the way that we put on the shows. So hopefully, I think over time people are starting to see, obviously it's told within our customer base, but we want to take this broader, we want to take this bigger. So hopefully people can see what we're all trying to achieve here, and it's bringing boxing back up to where it should be, in front of people's minds all the time.
One of the things I always read about the Zone is, because again, these are just online reporters. You'll read somebody saying that, oh, the Zone is struggling, they're not going to last long. Then somebody will say that, oh, they did huge numbers for this particular event. Speculation, yeah. So you're the vice president, so you tell us, like, what is the success been? Is it as good as you wanted? Are you on that route where it's going to get to where you want it to? Like, you just tell us where are we at with it?
Well, look, we've been very successful, hence why we're still growing. It's always a good sign when you continue to invest capital into growth opportunities. It's a sure sign that things are doing well, and they certainly are. We're broadcasting boxing in more territories than ever before, and we're seeing huge growth, huge pockets of opportunity to exploit. We're signing promoters from particular regions now. For example, Duco is a partner that we brought on in Australia a few months ago, and we're going to be tailoring events for that time zone, for that market. So that kind of growth demonstrates the success of our business. However, there's still a lot more to do. You don't get to where we get to without being ambitious and without being somewhat self-critical. We still are, and we share that philosophy with a lot of our partners. I think Frank and George, whilst they obviously have an unbelievable legacy in the sport of boxing, there's more to do, there's more to be done, and there's always things to improve on. So we're not resting on laurels, we don't pat ourselves on the back for too long. But the answer to your question is yes, we've seen some unprecedented success really in the last few years. That's demonstrated by our growth and volume of shows, but there's more to do.
I think in short, hence why everyone's still in the job, hence why we're sat here today.
Yeah.
So hopefully the people, the conspiracy theorists, it kind of sets them straight because you've just signed a huge deal with Frank Warren, suggests that there is success
Yeah.
behind it. That's why you're still
yeah.
going. And then, you know, the small promoters that you mentioned there, I know you do a lot of stuff with the GBM as well
Yeah,
now,
GBM.
top tier. So what's the long-term plan with like them sort of promoters who are still like trying to establish the name to be the same level as like Frank and Eddie?
To distribute their fights. That's why they want to work with us, because they see that we are committed to the sport. We put shows on every week all over the world. We bring promoters together. We sometimes bring broadcasters together to make shows. So that is appetizing and appealing to promoters, hence why they want to work with us. Because obviously there are a lot of people who dabble in the sport of boxing, but we literally do it every single day. We have hundreds of people that work for our business all over the world who focus on boxing, who love the sport of boxing even before the time of DAZN, myself included. And our objective for these smaller hall promoters is to put on more shows, distribute more shows to bigger audiences, cross-pollinate with other promoters, which gives leg ups to fighters, most importantly, but also the promoters themselves to be exposed to, bigger audiences, to grow and to garner more capital to continue to put on bigger shows. So it's an ecosystem which is by no means perfect, but is one that we are very committed to and already seeing exponential growth, and not one that we're going to slow down on.
What happens if Frank and Eddie want to go on the same date and maybe like say GBM want to go on the same date as well? So how do you work that around?
We have to work around that. we have to work.
Can you put two on the same day? Because I know there's the zone 1 and the zone 2.
No. So we spend a lot of work, a lot of time, on scheduling of fights to ensure that wherever possible, they don't cannibalise with each other on certain time zones. Now we do have instances where, 2 weekends ago we had 3 fights in one weekend, and they were on PT time, ET time, and UK time. So if you're a boxing fanatic and you really fancy sitting down and getting into a session of boxing, then that's perfect for you. When you have over 150 fights a year, there are always instances where sometimes fights are going to clash. Obviously, we're dealing with multiple components here that we need to make sure everyone's happy. The fighters, most importantly, are they going to be available and ready on certain dates? There will be, I'm not going to lie to you, there will be instances in the future where some may clash, but rest assured we have a whole team who spend a lot of time working on scheduling with our promotional partners to make sure, believe it or not, these promoters don't want to clash against each other either. They want to allow their shows to have the breathing space that they deserve. It's in no one's interest to have shows to clash, certainly not ours, so let's see. But rest assured there's lots of work that goes into avoiding that.
And then the other big thing the fans are always complaining about is the price points, because I know when the DAZN started, the initial plan was no pay-per-views. Then obviously we've had some pay-per-views, and then the price points have increased as well. So the long-term vision now that Queensberry on board, does that mean that there's going to be another price increase? Could you give them a bit of an update on that?
Yeah, no, so there's no plans to increase the price. There are plans to diversify even further our subscription offering. So those with the keen eye who aren't possibly subscribers at the moment will see that you don't necessarily have to sign up to an annual plan to be with DAZN. Of course, if you're a boxing fan, then we encourage you to do that, because there's shows every week for you to enjoy, and probably some boxing that you wouldn't watch if you weren't on DAZN, because it's obviously exclusive. But there's flexibility. You can join DAZN on a free trial for a period of time to enjoy an event. It's normally around a pay-per-view event, so buy the pay-per-view under no commitment. But of course we have instalment plans, we have annual upfront plans, monthly, but the answer to your question, which is the one that people are going to want to hear, is there's no plans to do a price rise, no.
Great. And the last question I've got for you, the only British promoter left that's sort of with the TV network is Ben Shalom, who's still with Sky. I understand there's no update on whether that's going to be a long-term thing, but if that becomes free, would you look to add another British promoter to your stable?
Well, look, yeah, let's see. It's what we do. I'm not going to comment on Ben's business, obviously with Sky. That's their initiatives and their business, and we wish them the very best of luck. But the answer to your question is yes. We work with multiple promoters to get to the level that we want to get to, with shows every week, with better matchups than ever before. We have to work with everyone, and we've obviously worked many times with Boxer, and done very successfully in doing so. So let's see, but the door's always open at DAZN for more content. It's kind of what we need to. We're a content business, so we need to have more on there. So working with people is important to us, and collaboration is part of our philosophy.
Great. Well, I'm sure I speak on behalf of a lot of boxing fans that enjoy this new content world that we live in, that appreciate what you guys are doing. And I think it's a groundbreaking deal. And I think it's brilliant that we can just watch more crossover fights. I think that's the biggest incentive in this. So thank you on behalf of boxing fans for doing what you did.
And look, it's you know, that's very kind of Dan. Thank you. But you know, we love the sport of boxing. We want to put on more shows. So you know, keep watching and keep feeding back, because it's important for us to hear from the fans. You know, we like to know what we're doing well and maybe not so well. But long may it continue. Watch this space, and yeah, a big 24 to finish. I mean, we're in an amazing run at the moment. Fights every week, right up to Usyk Fury 2. Already working on the schedule for Q1 next year. So we need to keep it up. It's all well and good having a great day today. We'll enjoy it for a little while, but there's a lot of work to do.
I'm sure there's exciting times ahead. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.